Namaste. Welcome. Today I wanted to explore a pose called Koundinyasana. This is quite a complex pose. It's quite an advanced pose as well. So we want to slowly build up, build some core strength, build some arm strength, and build some confidence so that we can find our balance. It translates to the flying splits, and there's actually 3 different variations. The first one, where we take both legs to the side and balance, is probably the most accessible, but the most popular are the second variations, Koundinyasana A and B, and this is where we come into flying splits. The first one, we take our left leg over the right knee, and the second variation, we take our right knee over our right arm. So what we find is that there's different ways of coming into these poses. I've got 3 blocks because this gives us a little bit of support, a little bit of balance, a little bit of confidence building, shall we say. So the first thing that I want to do is practice a very simple pose called the plank. And as we hold plank, just hold into it, engage here through the shoulder girdle, let the pelvis drop and breathe. Then we're going to add a little bit to this. Right hand to left shoulder, back down. Left hand to right shoulder, back down. And you could try 10 of these to build up some strength. Next thing is to draw right knee in towards right armpit, head drops back. Left knee in towards left armpit, head back. Again, you can try 10 of these. Now, slowly, as we build up to our splits, we want to explore this movement. Drawing the right foot upwards, so I've shifted my right hand out of the way and dropped my left knee down. We're going to hang out here, and if you want to, come into your lizard, where we're taking elbows inside of our foot. Just breathing and slowly opening right up through here, the hamstrings, right up through here, the left hip flexor, and letting the knee drop, and then collapse out, and then draw it back inwards. So as we do this movement, just slowly opening up into the hips. Beautiful. Now, before we lift into the pose, I'm going to place some blocks. First of all, 1 block here, so that it's going to come just to the top of my chest to give me some lift. And the second 2 here, so that they're underneath my back knee. So I'm placing this just behind. Then I find my alignment again. Right foot comes forwards, and my 2 elbows are coming in here, in towards the belly button. They're not coming right in and touching, but they're coming definitely inwards. And then as I draw the elbows inwards, the hands are going to turn slightly outwards to give me more space. I'm going to lean my chest forwards and drop it downwards towards here, the block, and find that balance point. Slowly, I'm going to lift up this right leg on top of my right arm so that I can have a go at leaning into the block and lifting this leg. Just playing with this movement and feeling the support from the block. Then, since I've got the blocks already behind, ready placed, I can slowly slide my leg up on over, lift upwards, and find a version of my flying splits or Koundinyasana. To come out, I'll just slowly release. So this version helps us to kind of find the pose, helps us to learn how to get into it. We also need to learn to take our weight forwards. So if we're going to do the second version, we need to swap things over. The block stays here, but it's the blocks at the back that I'm going to shift to the other side. Now, instead of taking right leg over right arm, I'm going to take left leg over left arm. And this is where we get a crossover. So to start this version, I'm going to start squatting, facing 90 degrees away from my hand. So down my hands go. We do the same movement of the elbows coming in towards the center. And so we're doing 2 versions. First of all, the 2-legged version, and then we can come into the full flying splits. So to this one, again, I need to lean slowly downwards in towards the block. So I've got my balance point, and here I can start lifting my knees up and off the floor so they're balancing onto the sides. So if you're unsure, it can help to do this movement to get the arm across first, find the placement, lean over, and then slowly rest onto that bolster. Now my left leg is underneath, so I'm going to try and straighten out this right leg, find the block and rest it on top. Once you're steady, then we can straighten the bottom leg and breathe here. Slowly, we can then release. And over time, you might find you can remove these back blocks and then do the same pose. Again, leaning the chest into the front block only. If you're comfortable, you can do that whole thing without the blocks. So starting to the side, take the armpit across, hands to the floor, shift the weight onto those forearms, remembering to keep the elbows drawing inwards. Then slowly from here, straighten the back leg, and if you're comfortable, you can try straightening the front leg. So we have another go. So slowly coming into it, straightening here the legs as we then come into our flying splits. And there you have it. Koundinyasana.